with dashing in that.
But I want to carry all this stuff. Puppy twin.
Yeah, probably once I went to the bars. That's a puzzle. Bars. I don't know what they're doing on Sunday. $5. They're giving it on Sunday for Christmas. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I don't have Mark.
You see, the prime mover was horse flesh in this period, either for officers, cavalry, and also for the movement of the guns. So we have to remember when these battles were going on and there were casualties suffered, certainly there was the human actors, and just get into the history, the shared history of North America. They presented themselves as a very suitable target while the soldiers line is holding. The Americans are putting heavy pressure onto this group. Americans are extending their line now as the Canadians close in. And that's required amongst these soldiers in order to undertake and withstand this type of fire. The drill of this period allowed commanders to move a large number of troops from point to point on the field. It allowed unity of movement, quick maneuver, and ability to move them into a line or column in order to bring fire down upon their opponents. This drill is something that soldiers practice endlessly in this period, and only today we use it for ceremonial functions on unit parades and various national days of celebration. Notice there's boys on the field as well, playing drums. And notice how the Americans move across the field preparing to deploy, calmly under fire. They wheel into position and they're about to prepare to volley against the Crown forces. The Crown forces themselves are redeploying, bringing in reinforcements, extending their line in order to increase fire as well. See coming on the field, the Canadian Fencibles. This is the Canadian units, their colors flying, moving on to the battle to reinforce the Crown forces. So we're seeing a further build-up going on here. The Canadians coming onto the field now. Joining the other Canadians from the Glengarry Light Infantry, the Voltigeurs Canadiens, and the Canadians also serving in the ranks of the Redcoats. To the troops. And now we see the Fencibles moving into their lines with their King's color and their regimental color. Good solid volley there from the American forces. See, we have more casualties on the field as additional forces are coming onto the field now. They're reforming their line, holding their position effectively against the volley from the Americans. Each side is still trying to get the upper hand over the other. We did have incidents during battles where soldiers, NCOs, and officers would find reason to leave the field. They would run away, desert, sometimes be recaught, punished in various ways, sometimes executed. The officers could be cashiered, wearing colors that they really didn't want to, such as the gray jackets some of the Americans are wearing. That was affected by improper distribution of uniforms, difficulties because of the British blockade of the American coast, and the rapid expansion of their military, which meant that the uniforms weren't ready for all the troops. They even found some British uniforms as American privateers captured British off the field, withdrawing into positions further away from the enemy. But there's still movement afoot on the field, forces trying to close in, gain the upper hand. But you can see the casualties and the effect that has on the fire, on unit cohesion, on the ability to carry on with the battle. Very often, armies committed all their forces during the course of an action without reinforcements. So all they had on the field was it. Gentlemen, that the forces are retiring off the field. They're beginning to maneuver further away from each other and gave them a good licking. We see the troops wheeling again. Note the discipline as they move off the field. Their commander is ordering them to wheel. The officers are falling in line, watching them as well. See, the musicians are back on the field. And it's a salute to the fallen, ladies and gentlemen. And as we pay homage to their spirits, they come back to life.